All right, it's 4:32. We'll start the meeting. Start the meeting with a roll call.
Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowan,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Starbry,
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Jen and Eric are not present today for the meeting. And for privilege of the floor, we have Brittany Woodburn. Brittany, you can go ahead and present, please.
So I'd like to just say, I think most of you already know Brittany, but for those of you who do not, here's what you need to know. Britt was hired in 2015 as Economic Development Specialist and appointed Deputy Director of ED&P in April of 2019. Britt is the lead on ED&P workforce development efforts. It is through her leadership and vision that the workforce development pipeline strategy and workforce development implementation have progressed. So I just wanted to give you a little background. She's the one, she is the person who has been really driving our workforce development efforts, and she's done a really great job. And so I'd like for her to share a little bit about the background of workforce development to kind of lead into what our request of the IDA board will be.
Awesome, thank you guys. Yeah, so like Leanne said, we last year in June of 2020, we completed work on a countywide workforce development pipeline strategy. And so since then, we've been working on implementing two of the key strategic actions from that plan. So the first action involves creating what we're calling an education talent supply table. So basically it's a way for us to bring together all 6 of the K through 12 school districts and then the 3 BOCES systems that cover Tioga County. To open up opportunities for all of them to share best practices, potentially share programming, curriculum, and services as well. And so all of this is, with the intent to be able to support talent development for our employers on a regional level, and then build career pipelines as well for our students. So to date, we've had one-on-one meetings, we've interviewed all the school district superintendents and the BOCES systems as well. And they've had really positive reactions to this initiative. They certainly recognize the role that K through 12 school districts have in developing our future workforce and have expressed a lot of interest in coming to the table to make this happen. So some of the common challenges we're hoping to address through the talent supply table is a disconnect that exists right now between our schools, our employers, and then also what we're all doing in terms of economic and workforce development efforts. We'd like to increase the collaboration between the schools in terms of sharing resources, programming as well. And in Tioga County, we're also unique in the fact that we are covered by 3 different BOCES systems. So that can also add just another layer and challenge in bringing everyone together. So, and then in terms of feedback from employers, what we've heard quite a bit is that they're really looking for one point of contact. It's really difficult for them to be approached by multiple school districts, the BOCES systems, all looking to set up hands-on learning opportunities, so apprenticeships, internships, co-ops, and each of them all having different requirements and procedures. It's just really tough on the employers. So that actually, brings me to the second strategic action that we've been working on implementing, and like Leanne said, why we're really here today. The school districts, identified a need to have some sort of third-party liaison, so someone that's not going to be connected to any particular school district, that can really coordinate and manage this education talent supply table, and then also all of the employer outreach efforts. And then this person would also be responsible for implementing the strategy as well. And so, part of the reason why, there have been some similar efforts in the past and they haven't been as successful is really a lack of time and resources on the school's end and the employer's end as well. to have a full-time person that's really dedicated to this work. Just to give you guys some examples, a lot of this stuff that we've facilitated a lot of conversations, in the last couple of weeks between different schools and employers, and Leanne and myself have really been fielding a lot of this at this point. One example, BT BOCES, they're really looking to connect their students in their culinary, hospitality, and security guard programs with potential careers with businesses in Tioga County. So we've been able to connect them with several of our businesses to open up that conversation, and the hope in the future as well is that students that are in their programs can actually do apprenticeships and internships and get real career exploration experience and hands-on learning experience. So that's just one example of a lot of conversations we've been having. There's definitely, I think, a lot more conversation to be had and a lot of work to be done in regards to this whole topic. So we're really just kind of scratching the surface there. And then in terms of where we're at right now, I have a draft job description that I've been working on and a budget for the position as well. Leanne and I presented this information to a local foundation, and they've expressed interest in providing full funding for this full-time position, and we're calling it an Education Workforce Coordinator for a 3-year period. We're foreseeing it being a contract position, and the intent is that once the position is established and it's really proven itself after the 3-year period, that it will become sustainable with a public-private partnership. So buy-in from the schools, the employers, our workforce partners as well. And then oversight of the position, would be provided by Leanne and myself through the ED&P department. So at this point, in terms of how to move forward, the local foundation that we're working with, has asked us to identify an organization that could potentially house this position. And so that's, why we're here today, just to kind of, respectfully see if the IDA would consider acting in this capacity. So Leanne, I don't know if you have anything else to add, Leanne?
No, a memo went out, I believe Christine shared a memo to the board, kind of summarizing what you just said.
Okay.
We're talking about anticipated hopeful award in the amount of $100,000 a year for a 3-year period for this position, as Brett mentioned, as a contract employee by way of the IDA. And what we would look for tonight would be, the immediate request would be approval from the board to submit to the grant source that the IDA would be the responsible party, and then provision of a letter of support to provide to the grant source, and concurrence. We're looking for concurrence that the new hire would be as a contract employee and not on IDA payroll. That's the immediate request for tonight. And then, we're, as Brett mentioned, continuing to define the parameters of this position, more information to follow. But our first step would be, if we can give the grant source a level of comfort that we have a way to do this, then we'll continue to develop it as we go along.
My question is, can you do that with, I'm all for this, don't get me wrong, but can you bring a contract employee on to the IDA, and what are your hour requirements or your minimum, maximum hours? And, I think the contract employee situation is governed by all of their incomes coming from one source that pretty well deemed an income.
So Joe, did you want to speak to that? The question is, if it's a contract employee and it's a sole source of income, then they're not actually a contract employee. They'd be deemed, an employee of the IDA. Can you speak to that?
You're going to have to, I couldn't hear Kevin when he was asking the question, but let me go back. This will be a W-2 employee.
No, 1099.
It will be a 1099
We're
employee.
anticipating a 1099 employee, but if there's another way that works, that makes more sense, then obviously we would do it another way. We're looking for, well, how do you want it to be?
And is the question, can the 1099 employee be used for services other than direct to the IDA, essentially?
the question, Joe, is a contract employee, there's some pretty specific guidelines from the federal government. That,
Yeah,
you know, that they can't draw all of the income from one source. And if they do, it kind of narrows it down to.
that would make them a W-2 employee.
Right. I believe so.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. You know what? I don't have any problem if we have a way to put a contract employee in this position, but I just want to make sure if you're going to present something like this, that it's within the guidelines of the federal government or the state.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. And if I understand you correctly, Kevin, the question is, can we have a contract employee where the only income for that employee derives directly from us? Does that change them to a W-2 employee? And then would we owe FICA and all the rest with respect to employee? I don't know the answer to the question, but I'll find it out. How's that?
Okay.
Is that adequately stated, Kevin?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
But again, this employee, as indicated, would have no other source of income. This would be it.
Not necessarily. I mean, this employee might be a consultant, so to speak, and have other jobs. Depends on how economic development and Brittany and Leanne set it up.
Okay,
But I agree with Kevin. There's certain stipulations on how much income comes from one source.
okay, all right.
What
I
is
don't
the-
know the answer to that, but I'll find it out.
What
I
is
don't
the
think it's a
problem-
matter of, I don't think it's a matter of how much income. It's a matter of what percentage of the income,
Percentages,
Coming from
not,
Right.
not actual dollar.
not dollar
amounts.
amount.
Right,
Right.
Right,
that's correct.
okay,
Is
okay.
this a full-time position? It is, right?
Yes.
What is the problem with just hiring a long-term temporary employee?
Well, we were trying to avoid, as Kevin or somebody mentioned, paying FICA and, all the benefits or whatever go along with an actual employee. But if that is a better scenario, I think, Brett, you have room in the budget. If we had to, I think you made some room in the budget to allow for something like that, didn't you, Brett?
Yeah, we did. We included benefits initially in our calculation of what we would need over a 3-year period.
So there's an option there.
Yes, so if it had to be a W-2 employee, we have room to be able to do that. So we just wanted to, what is the IDA board most comfortable with? First, do you want a partner? And how do you want to structure it?
Okay,
All right, so Leanne, and Brittany, you need a motion to move forward on this? Is that what you're asking for tonight?
Yeah, that would be helpful. So we have a meeting set up with the administrator of the grant source for later this month on the 22nd, I believe. And so, we would like to be able to have in hand, yes, the IDA board they're on board. And so then we can advance the application to the foundation.
I'm in favor of that, and I think the way Brittany stated it was you do this for 3 years as a grant, hopefully, and then you have some buy-in, which, I mean, you should see some results in year 1 and work towards by the end of year 3 that, you'd see some benefit to it through the school system or even through the county in some way. It wouldn't take very many students that get transitioned from a school environment or a BOCES environment or whatever they're attending into a job or into an apprenticeship It wouldn't take very many of those to take a heck of a burden off of the county long-term. Can't speak to those numbers, but there's no one that just heard that thinks different.
Well, I make a motion that we move forward and allow Brittany and Leanne to approach the funding source with the idea of the
I'll
IDA.
second it.
Any other discussion?
In the meantime, Joe, you're going to find out what.
In the meantime, I will get an opinion relative to the issue outlined by Kevin.
So can I
Between
ask,
the,
if
Yep.
Joe determined that it can't be a 1099, that it has to be a W-2 employee, would the IDA board still be on board and making this position an actual employee of the IDA? Are we still good with that, if that's how it plays out?
I would.
you could make the motion to move forward either as a W-2 or 1099 worker, consistent with the advice of counsel. And then, however, if you're willing to go ahead either way, the motion would allow Leanne and Brittany to proceed at that point, and whatever the best answer is, we'll proceed down that path.
I amend my motion. How's that?
Okay. So amended.
I amend the second.
Okay.
Guys are good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brittany. I can't say enough. Britt has done a tremendous amount of work on this. And so when you say Brittany and Leanne, really you need to be saying Brittany, because she is the one who's leading this. It's her leadership and her vision that's gotten us to this point. And I very much appreciate your work, Britt, and we'll keep you posted.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take a roll call on that motion. Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Sabra,
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Britt,
All I know is that's the most words that Joe said in like 3 months, so this is gonna cost us a bunch of money.
But he got paid an awful lot in the last month, so.
I did. However, those bills ran from when?
Yeah,
Last September? Okay.
if it's 2
All right.
months old, we don't pay.
Joe, tell them you don't charge by word, per word.
Aaron, did you make that a motion?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So next up is approval of the minutes, March 3rd meeting. Everybody had an opportunity to look those minutes over. Does anybody have any comments?
So moved, accepted.
A second, John.
Thank you. Roll call vote, Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Sabra,
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, no financials. I'll let Aaron speak to the financials.
Yeah, other than the transaction details and all the lawyer bills that came in since last October. That's
I
not
knew
fair.
that wasn't gonna pass unnoticed. Okay.
I'm gonna harass you. Balance sheet looked good. We made a few adjustments in the P&L. I think it's all set. You agree, John?
I agree. I'd make a motion to approve them as issued.
Acknowledge them.
Acknowledge.
I second that acknowledgement.
Thank you so much. Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Sabra,
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Leanne, you have some updates for us?
Okay, so, next on the agenda is DRI administration. Again, I asked Christine to send out, hopefully you had a chance to take a look at the memo related to the downtown revitalization initiative. Specifically, what I'm asking here is, as you may recall, with the DRI, the projects that fall under the IDA for the DRI, there is an associated fee, administrative fee, that the IDA will be entitled to. Right now, that amount is at 83,000. If the change to the program is approved, that was adding another project under the IDA, that fee that the IDA would receive would come to closer to $98,000. So that's all. It's in the program. It's coming, and all good to go there. My ask is related to the tasks that have been performed. We probably should have left Brett on the phone. Oh, Brett, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the tasks associated with the grant administration specific to the agreement between HCR and the IDA, I kind of broke out with Brett's assistance on application, design services, environmental reviews, SHPO, local reviews, HCR approval, construction bidding, construction administration, and project closeout. These are all parts of the DRI administration that actually are being handled out of our office, specifically Brett, and Megan is assisting with that work as well. So, and looking at that, they're kind of trying to do an analysis, and the work that Brittany, Elaine, and Megan have been performing really on behalf of the IDA. It's really quite extensive. So my ask is that the IDA consider to reimburse our department for the Village of Owego DRI administrative tasks performed on your behalf at an amount to be agreed upon by both parties. So of that 98,000, 83 or 98,000, whatever it ends up being, would the IDA be agreeable to reimbursing ED&P for the work that we're doing, getting these projects approved, ready to go, and then through the construction phase? There's another part to this that will be coming too, and that will be the actual grant administration, the grant between HCR and the IDA. That part, I would anticipate Christine handling that, Christine and Megan probably handling that part. But for project-specific work, there's an awful lot, as you can see, an awful lot that goes into it. And so I would ask the IDA to consider reimbursing ED&P for part of that work.
So what's the dollar you're asking for?
Well, there are a couple of ways that we could approach this. We could, kind of tally amount of time and apply hourly rates for whoever's doing the work on it, on each project, and kind of keep track of it that way. Or maybe a simpler approach would be to arrive at, X amount per project will go to ED&P regardless. Some projects we have more work on them, some less. But if we could arrive at an amount per project, it might be a little bit easier way to, kind of manage how that would go.
Are we looking to leave any of this amount? And forgive me for being unaware of some of the thought process here, but of the 83 or the 98, whichever it becomes, is there a percentage that would stay within the IDA in your
Yes.
mind?
Absolutely.
Do you have a percent? It might be just as well to think about it in a percentage.
Sure.
And that percentage can be a certain percentage for each of these tasks, but if you had a percentage, then it would fluctuate to the work and fluctuate to the dollar amount.
So Brett has started trying to kind of go through the calculation based on hourly rates and everything. We can come back with a proposal for what that breakdown might be. And we can talk about it again, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there for right now and say, is this something that seems like you would be agreeable to? And then we'll come back with a more specific, how about, whatever it is determined the amount would be appropriate.
Why don't we just do a roll call on this just to see where everybody's at, and if somebody's got questions, let's have them now.
Well, so let me just say, so what, I have to figure this out in my mind. So what the IDA is doing by accepting this would be paying the county for county employee services.
Yes. And that would go, those funds would then go back to the county general fund.
Yeah, I think actually it records as revenue against you, but yeah,
It reduces
for
our,
you.
So that works for you, Marty?
Yeah, I had to figure this out, Tracy. I didn't know if you had a thing with this because I just wanted to make sure that we were doing things legally. And Leanne checked with Peter and he was fine. I just had to figure out the transaction of how it would work. So the IDA would make a check out to Tioga County and it wouldn't go to pay for anybody's wages. It would just go into basically the general fund.
correct.
You got that?
And I'm
Tracy?
okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that, that it makes sense. There shouldn't be a problem with the county being paid for work that the county employees are doing. As far as I can see, there should be no problem with that. As long as, I agree with Kevin, I think the easiest way to do this is just say, okay, a percentage of it is going to go to the IDA and the other percentage is going to go to the county.
Yeah,
And leave it at, that's the easiest way to break it down.
yeah. I agree.
Okay. That'd be great. And, you know, we
Can we have the company pay or the fee paid in two ways?
no, it'll have to come to the IDA.
Okay, all
It's
right.
like you're paying you're giving the county money out of a separate account.
Yeah.
It's,
I-
it's a different pot of money if you can draw a picture of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
And
understand.
it's okay.
You know how
I'm
good it makes you feel, Aaron, you give the county money.
I didn't hear that.
I said, I was telling Aaron, you know how good it makes him feel to give the county money. You heard it that time, I could tell.
I did. I heard you.
I'd rather give it to the county than the state.
What do we need to do? here?
Amen.
What do we need to do here going forward? Do we need a vote or do we need just a general feeling? Yes, we're okay, let's proceed.
Yeah, I think just a general feeling, and we'll come back next month with a proposal for what that percentage should be.
Okay, I'm good with general feelings.
Just don't make that proposal be 99% and 1%.
It won't pass.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Britt and Elaine and Megan are putting an important amount of time in on these. And so I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Project updates.
Did you have anything else to update for EDMP, Leanne, or you all set?
No, we'll leave it
Okay,
at
I
that.
just wanted to make
That's
sure.
enough for tonight.
Okay. So I obtained your email votes approving the IDA contractor fee for Owego Gardens 2, placing their excess soil permanently on the IDA land and their trees temporarily on the IDA land. So I'm just seeking to affirm that email vote in today's minutes. Can I please have a motion to approve same?
I make that motion.
Second, John?
Thank you. Roll call vote, Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Sabri,
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Thank you. So, the attached quote by Fagan Engineers, I'll share it for you to review, is to cover construction management and administration for the Owego Gardens 2 project. It's estimated to be $18,000 to $20,000, so we're seeking a motion to approve IDA executing this contract for a maximum of $20,000.
So moved. This is Aaron.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, this is Tracy.
Thank you.
Okay,
Roll call, Kevin Gillette,
yes,
Aaron Gowen,
Yes,
Tracy Manell,
Yes,
Martha Sabri,
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes,
Thank you. So in this updated cost spreadsheet, we've added the, give me while I share it. So we've added the Fagan contract for 20,000 right here. We've deducted that same amount from the original 10% engineering contingency amount that was included in the total project cost. And we've also added in the Robinson change order number 1 regarding the stream relocation, concrete box culverts. Thank you, Leanne. So this includes the purchase of the 2 box culverts and installation of same. So we'll go ahead.
No, you said.
So we'll continue to update this spreadsheet and share it with you monthly, showing any added costs as well as any payments we've made to date.
okay, I've one question while we're looking at this spreadsheet. Can anybody tell me on this contract, it may be different on every contract, but can anybody tell me how we arrive at the contingency amount? Is it a percentage of some total of work, or is it just something that Fagan puts in there as a result of experience? There's got to be a factor there. So where'd that 10%?
It was 10% total anticipated construction cost.
Okay, I just couldn't see. Is that was the construction cost minus the credits at the bottom? You see what I'm saying? I didn't come up with a number. I couldn't find a number that gave me that original contingency, the 20.
Oh, so that original contingency was off the original estimate that Fagan gave us for what they're anticipating total construction cost, what the project was going to be.
Okay.
And that original number they gave us was 10% of that number.
No, okay, I just couldn't relate the 10% to anything on that
Didn't add up,
form,
yeah.
and I was just curious. All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next topic regarding Wego Gardens 2 is related to the home leasing contractor, Gorick, and their remaining dirt and exported materials. We have, I sent you all a map, but I have a better map here to share. It's a little bit easier to read.
Yeah, I got lost on that.
You. So,
All right.
okay, so this is where the water tank is in the road. This is the larger Wego Gardens 2 building in the smaller townhomes. They want to make a temporary access road from here to here to haul roughly 11,000 cubic yards of Gorick fill to this IDA site, to the same location that Robinson is bringing their 4,000 cubic yards, which is already approved. But home leasing is requesting that the IDA authorize their contractor to bring the remaining fill over here. We discussed this prior, but the situation's a little different now because we do have an engineer approval for this fill going to the IDA site, saying that there will be no negative consequences. It's environmentally safe and acceptable for IDA to take this fill. And I'm just going to share the home leasing official request letter that I didn't send out to you all previously. We just received it today, but they are giving certain assurances that if we allow them to do this, that these things will be taken care of. So they're going to pay the expense for Fagan engineers to develop their grading plan. They're going to make sure that their contractors add IDA to their insurances, that their contractors stay within the site parameters defined to keep it environmentally safe. that if in doing so, any damages caused to the IDA construction portion of the work, that they will incur the expense to repair that, and that it won't fall on IDA. And that the property will be left in a good condition.
So I apologize if I missed this before. So you're gonna take all that extra soil that's up there over to IDA property, which is technically the town of Owego, right? But it's our land.
It
Yes,
is the town, yes.
yes.
So what does that look like? Is it hilly? Is it got dips? Are they going to just pile it up or are they gonna grade it? How's that gonna go? Do you think?
So they're,
Can I say
Sure.
one more thing? I think
Yeah.
might clarify some of this, is that where that blue arrow and that square is designating, we're gonna drop that soil, where they wanna drop that soil, that is heading towards Strong Road.
correct.
Right.
Just, sometimes you get
Up the
those
hill.
maps turned around a little bit,
Yeah,
I think it's understandable, so this is getting up to the top of the hill before the woods, in that general area.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
So-
Marty.
no, that's fine because, so, okay, we're gonna take that, we're gonna pile the dirt up there. Well, are they gonna grade it? Is there just gonna be a mound of dirt? Like,
So that is why we're requiring Fagan to put together a grading plan.
okay,
Will address exactly that. It will have, there are parameters according to the existing SWIP that we have on the site.
okay,
Existing SWIP will allow work within a 3.3 acre area. So Fagan's work will show exactly where they can and how much and how it will need to be graded, so that it will be agreeable to the IDA in the end. When we are going to develop farther up, this will actually enhance the site, because there is, to answer your question, there is a drop right there,
so
right in that area. And so this will kind of bring that up.
break it up, yeah,
And out a little bit.
It will all have to be seeded.
Yep.
You know, it's,
Yep.
so,
It will be brought back to original condition. Similar.
great, great.
Yep. So what we're looking for tonight would be for the IDA to agree to, according to the conditions, and I know Joe, I don't think Joe's had a chance to look at the letter from home leasing, but Joe, maybe if you could look at it and see if there's anything else that you would add to that as far as what we would ask for. And then hopefully, because these guys are sitting idle right now, they need a place to dump this dirt, and so they're hoping to have a response from the IDA by tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have a question. What was the original plan to do with this dirt? What were they gonna do with it? Because from my perspective, they saw that, okay, Robinson got to dump their dirt up there, so why don't we get to do the same thing? So what were they gonna do with it?
So they had a plan in place for what they're going to do with it, but that plan got shut down
By the
They were-
town.
by the town. They were hauling to a site within the town on a rural road that was causing challenges for the town, for their roadway. And ultimately, the town said, yeah, you can't do that anymore. So now they need a plan B, and this is plan B for them. And we did look around, just so you know, Tracy, we did look around. I was part of the process to try to find another dump site that would work for them. Reached out to 5 different places, and none of them would agree to take the dirt. So they've kind of got their backs against the wall right now.
So there must be a significant price difference between what they were gonna do and what they're gonna do now.
So for the amount of dirt that they've moved already, a crazy number of cubic yards, we're down to the last part of it. 11,000 cubic yards, still a lot of dirt, but it's a fraction of what they've already taken off the site. So, they're down to the last part of it now that they've got to figure out, what they're gonna do.
there's a lot of dirt.
And just so you know, the contractors probably, or will be, incurring additional expenses they weren't anticipated in, working with the town on making some repairs to the town road. So, they're not getting off cheaper by doing this. They're gonna be spending more money just to kind of fix what's already happened.
So when they drive up the hill from the water tank lane. They're gonna go through those woods up into the field on top. Are they gonna have to make a road? What are they gonna have to do?
So if you go back to that map, there is actually an area that is cleared already.
Yeah, I know that.
Right there, you can see the blue line goes right through it. That's a cleared, they'll be able to access right straight through there.
Yeah,
And it'll be above, you see the black line, the thick black line is the stream relocation. So they'll be working above and out of Robinson's Way. They'll be hauling up above the stream relocation work. It's gonna be a logistical nightmare with the number of trucks that are gonna have to be in and out of there between Robinson's trucks and Bork's trucks. But everybody's agreed, we're gonna work together on this, and hopefully they will stay out of each other's way. There will be a good amount of coordination that's gonna have to happen to be able to make this work. It's not, nobody really wants to do it, but it's where we're down to now.
So you
I-
said, Leanne, that dark black swirl line there, that's the stream where it will go?
Yeah, that's the stream that will be, that's where the stream will be relocated to.
Where is it now? Can
It
you,
goes through the parking lot. It goes to a more direct line.
okay,
I would say that this is not ideal for anybody, including the contractors, but 11,000 cubic yards of dirt spread out over 3.5 acres with some seed thrown on top of it. There's already a dip in the ground there from what Leanne said. I'm a holder to her word. There's a dip in the
There is a
ground.
dip in the ground.
I for one would say, I'm for it. I would say, let's move forward.
yeah, I agree. Go ahead,
So,
Tracy.
make a motion on that?
So Tracy was gonna.
I said I agree. This is Tracy.
Okay, especially if they make that a passable roadway, because it gives us access from there to the top of the hill.
Well, that's all gonna change, Aaron, because ultimately, the second part of the project is the construction of the tank road, the road to the tank.
Right.
So, yeah, you know,
You won't have access off of it.
no, probably not. They'll kind of bring that back and, you know, smooth it all out and everything, but that, you can see that tank road will be built, that'll be paved. Tank
Yeah.
road that's going all the way up through there. So
Mm.
in all likelihood, probably not, and that would be something we'd have to work out with Suez anyway, so I don't know about that.
But just the
Yeah.
fact that they're gonna be running trucks and dozers across that, Aaron, that pathway through that
Mhm.
woods, that's not going anywhere. Once that's compacted, they can cover it up, do whatever they want to it, but we can reclaim it if need be in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Well,
think.
I'm okay with
You know,
making a motion. We allow them to do it.
okay.
You want to make that motion contingent upon Joe's review to make sure we haven't missed anything in the letter we received from home leasing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything contingent
Yes.
upon review.
Okay.
He probably won't submit a bill for that until next November.
We don't pay that late.
Okay.
All right, roll call. Kevin,
Yes,
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manel,
Yes,
Martha Stabrick,
Yes,
John Ward.
Yes,
Thank you.
what's the easement?
This is, so just to FYI to all, that NICEAG's been in contact with Leanne. They will be requesting an easement to lay down the underground facilities on the project location. So that's upcoming.
So NICEAG is going to bury their line on the IDA owned property to the east of Belleville Lockwood Lane. So at no cost to the IDA, they will be preparing the survey and the easement of the area where they will need to have an easement put in place, and they'll provide the easement for us to look at. We didn't talk about a dollar amount on it, so we'll see where that comes out, but yeah, they want to bury a line. And additionally, there will be an easement required, Joe, by the village as well, because they're going to have to take there's a line that the village will be responsible for on the west side of Belva Lockwood to get to where NICEAG's line is gonna be on the east side of Belva Lockwood. So there'll be another little easement that will be needed with the village. So that's coming.
All right.
Just a heads up.
All right. We good on the hill?
Oh,
Back to
There'd be a
the,
madhouse up there.
All right, so as you all know, IDA has requested the state approve an INHS housing development to receive the remaining $220,000 in DRI funds administered by IDA. I sent you all the concept plan that's attached here. Is an FYI to an idea of what they're intending to do on Temple Street. And they are anticipating submitting a pilot application within the next few months. So any questions on that, feel free to reach out to myself or Leanne. Moving forward, just an FYI that the Paris reports and the link reports are updated and submitted by their deadline. I've been trained onward to governance committee report. I've been training Megan Griffiths on a variety of IDA specific related tasks and will continue to do so. Thus far, we've overviewed Paris reporting, receipting of checks. Forgive me, I forgot my list, but variety of things. I will update you further in the future. Loan committee, you all provided an email vote of approval for the Old Country Florist $80,000 loan. Seeking an affirmation of that email vote for the notes, please.
So moved, Aaron.
second,
Thank you. Kevin Gillette,
yes,
Aaron Gowen,
Yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Brett Stabry,
Yes,
John Ward.
I need to abstain on that.
Thank you. All right. Onto the railroad committee report. Just letting you all know that pole that was leaning over the railroad tracks has been removed. We had obtained a best quote for it, but the Tioga County DPW actually reached out and offered to remove it for free so they could use it. So that's been completed. And although I approached many insurance companies seeking a competitive quote for the railroad insurance, none were competitive, so we've renewed with Smith Brothers for the year. On to pilot updates. We have a year-end employment report for all of our pilot agreements. It's not letting me pull it up, so I can't share the screen. However, a few companies are below the anticipated employment numbers. They have those being Best Buy, 231 Main, Central New York Oil and Gas pilot number 1, Lockheed Martin, Nichols Crossdock, and Tioga Downs phase 2, 3, and 4, and VNS. However, noting that there is still an overall increase of 649 jobs through all of these pilot agreements. And also, I sent you all the 2020 pilot summary. I'll share it here. So what this is showing is in this row, it's their total exemption. So this is the taxes they would be paying at 100% if they did not have a pilot agreement. In this column here. Here we're showing the total pilot payment that they did make. Then we list any sales tax exemption total for the year 2020. And we come up with their total net exemption. basically the difference between what they would pay without a pilot and what they actually paid. So our total exemptions provided to all of our pilot companies was $5.45 million and change. Again, if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to reach out. And the sales tax exemption update, Owego Gardens 2 is our only active sales tax exemption currently. They've reported using 1128 out of their authorized 524,000 and change. So they're well within their limit and just getting started. For grant updates, the ag value chain is still in progress and administered by Megan. The broadband study is complete. We did receive reimbursement on that and have submitted a final report, so that grant is finished. The town of Richford application for engineering plans regarding the railroad were denied, but we will apply again the next round. The Monkey Run FEMA application is still pending, and I'll continue to reach out to FEMA asking for status updates, trying to move that along in coordination with Soil and Water to potentially, hopefully work on that this summer. And we also received our reimbursement for the VNS Water Sewer Extension Grant from ESD. And that is all for the regular agenda. Anybody have questions or no? Awesome. So the only thing on the executive agenda is the loan report. Unless anybody else has any particular reason to join executive session, I would think there's no need to enter.
Anyone?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you so much.
It's awful quiet.
Thanks all.
All the paperwork.
I gotta go work on my bills.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, everybody.
See you guys.
Good night.
Could have hung around and chatted a little bit, but.
I missed that part.
I do
Well,
know.
yeah, I mean, I think, what is the personal